Welcome once more to Final Fantasy XIV and the Machinist questline. We begin to look into the Stormblood part. The Machinist's choice. Desiree, how fortuitous that you should choose this moment to visit. Pray, forgive my abruptness, but are you acquainted with Ishgard's watch and the commoners who fill its ranks? Yep. Hilda and Raku, right? Truly, you've worked with Hilda before. Splendid. Absolutely splendid. Let us then discuss the problem at hand. Following our Fair City's shift to a more egalitarian form of government, there has been talk of arming the City Watch with machinist weapons and equipment, the very type of initiative for which I have long advocated. And as part of this plan, I have been asked to provide a competent instructor. But as clearly as I wish to fulfill this request of Hilda's, I'm afraid suitable candidates for the role are in woefully short supply. Surely you've heard the news of Alamigo's liberation, yes? Well, the aftermath of that little conflict has seen the manufactory swamped with commissions for both material and marksman, and I have not a single machinist to spare. I was even forced to relinquish Joy, my indispensable right-hand woman, to some far-flung deployment. And so, Desiree, you must see why your presence here this day strikes me as something of a godsend. Who better to accept this position than our most accomplished machinist? I understand, of course, that you have your own business to attend to and can hardly spend every waking moment training the watch. Thus do I intend to share your duties with our old friend Rostenstall. Aside from his extensive knowledge of firearms, he was once a commodore of the Knights of the Barracuda. Such experience should prove invaluable to the watch's leadership. He is the natural choice to serve as your partner in this enterprise. From what I've been told, our former instructor was recently spotted arriving in Idleshire. Pray, come along, Desiree, and lend me a hand in persuading the foul-mouthed brigand to return to Ishgard. Alright. Have you seen this place, Desiree? My prospectometer is simply overloaded by such potential. Why, the goblet technology amassed in the main square alone could keep me tinkering for days. Not that we'll be here nearly that long. Rostenstall is a striking fellow. Someone is bound to have noticed him. Shall we ask around? Walking Atlas, have you seen a big Rogan fellow? Can I interest you in a guided tour of... Oh, just a question. Aye, I've seen such a man. He was just walking down the street, as a matter of fact. Excuse me, ma'am. Have you seen a big Rogan fellow with a firearm and an axe? Ah, big lad with an eye patch, yes? I marked his passage as I would that of any dangerous beast. Stay your path and you find him like as not. I've seen your man, headed into a hard place he was, all swarthy and mysterious like. I'd have a mind to follow him in there. Ah, I see you've kept one step ahead of me, Desiree. At least this time around our dear instructor was not so damnably difficult to locate, huh? I thought I heard me some familiar voices. Now what brings the two of you all the way out here? Not just yearning to glimpse this ugly mug again, that much is certain. Astute as always, my friend. We have, in fact, come with an offer of employment. You want me to teach trigger work again, bugger that. Why don't you have Joy do it? Joy is far too humble to fare well as an instructor, and is fully occupied by other manufacturing business besides. You also have considerable experience of commanding a military company, if I'm not mistaken. Are you bloody daft, or did you just forget? Me piss-poor leadership of recruiters is what ruined my reputation in the first place. Do you honestly reckon a man like me is fit to take charge of training your city watch? Well, you haven't the stones for it? Ah. You're trying to tickle my pride, lass? You seem damn determined not to let an old pirate sit there and rest in peace. Then, this means you accept. Trim your sails there, boss. I'll make me final decision after I had a chat with the last what leads the watch. It seems we must arrange a meeting with Hilda. Would you mind handling the introduction? I can do that. My thanks. Now I really should be getting back to the workshop. I have a small mountain of munitions to make if I'm to honor all these commissions. Do the manufactory proud, my friends. Just when I get bleeding warm again. I'll see you in Ishgard this way. Champion, while I'm certain that your business is most pressing, I must ask that you allow me to first conduct mine. Are we clear, or must I repeat myself in simple terms? I expect very little from mere low-born riffraff. If you wish to serve Ishgard, then know your place and keep well out of our way. Bastard blue blood. He'd not wag his tongue like that if his boss was around. And a fine day to you, Desiree. Little Bird told me you'd be on your way. The lads and lasses were well pleased to hear they'd be learning at the foot of Ishgard Savior. Happy to help. This is Hilda. And you must be Rustenstone, eh? I'll warn you right now, the Watch is a warlord. They ain't used to formal training, and you'll need to work them hard before they'll count for more than cannon fodder. Work 'em hard, you say? I do things with pirate whalers. I've them pissing blood and wailing for their moms by first bell. We'll see about that. I don't know about Limsa's back alleys, but the Broom's not a place that suffers wilting daisies. What my lot lack in skill, they make up for in spirit. I like a challenge. Now, tell me more about how this watch of yours fits into Ishgard's defenses. Well, we're officially back in the arms of yours in alliance, ain't we? And if the Temple Knights are marching out to deal with some crisis, the streets will be left a touch thin on soldiers. That's where the watch comes in. We've been something of an independent operation till now, but the houses want to put us on the payroll. They mean to use our numbers to plug the holes in the walls, as it were. And the best part is, we get paid to do more of what we were doing for naught. Coin in our purses and food in our bellies. Can't complain about that. Aye, but the arrangement's not to everyone's liking. There are inquisitors and nobles alike looking to trip us up at every turn. They ain't keen on the idea of commoners being armed and organized. I reckon the only way to shut those bastards down is by convincing everyone else that the watch is something worth keeping. But if we mean to prove ourselves, we need proper equipment and training. That's why I took most of the coin we've been given and went back into Lord Helenard. Now we have firearms and 2 clever blighters to teach us how to use them. I had enough. You can't properly protect folk that don't recognize your authority. Just do as all Rustenstall says, and we'll soon teach them bastards to respect you. Yeah! Here's what we're going to do first. Gather a crew of your finest lads and lasses and slap a name on them. One that'll get the naysayers to sit up and take notice. What, you mean an elite company like the Dragoons or the Heavensward? I reckon a good name might impress some of the highborn, but I'll be buggered if I can think of one. Well, let's see. How about Hilda's Hounds? Oh, you mean Hilda's Hounds? Well, I do like the sound of that. What do you say, lads? As soon as I've handpicked a crew for the hounds, I start teaching them the basics. Then after they have a chance to learn barrel from stock, you can come back and test their skills. Sounds like a fair division of labor? Right then, I'll whip them into shape before you know it. Let's see how tough these broom-born bastards really are. Further on at level 63... Come to see how we're doing, man? Aye, well, there ain't much to test yet. Things are coming along, but progress is bloody slow. Not one of these buggers has a flair for the irons that you and Joy showed. Ha! We'd best let them get back to it then. I have a different sort of favor to ask you, Desiree. The watch has been tasked with its first big job, standing guard at the Temple Knight's investiture ceremony. The ceremony is an important event, and setting a watch to, well, watch over it is a gesture of what's meant to embody the new spirit of harmony between highborn and lowborn. Lucia didn't honey her words. She said that making a mess of this duty is like to harm our reputation beyond saving. The hounds will be knocked down before they even take their first step. But getting back to the favor. There's to be a meeting to discuss security concerns for the event, and I want you sitting in on it. You see, the representative for the Temple Knights is the kind of bloke what has me itching to shoot him in the teeth. Pompous bastard by the name of Muscadine. If you're there, I might just be able to keep my trigger finger under control. Alright, I help you. Thanks, Desiree. I appreciate the support. I'll see you at the congregation then. You. I was not informed. Desiree is my advisor. I trust her advice a damn sight more than that of a certain empty-helmed, stiff-backed blue blood. I will not dispute her place at this meeting. In fact, I would be far less inclined to entrust this duty to a certain foul-mouthed, disrespectful commoner were she not accompanied by such an advisor. My apologies for the interruption, Sir Muscadine. I bear urgent news. Speak then. Sir, a thief has breached the vault and stolen the sacred blade Runting. Runting's a sword what's used to dub new knights, or so they tell me. But that place is crawling with guards. Hard to imagine how someone even managed to get in there, let alone filch anything. It's unthinkable. The treasure door is secured with 7 different locks. Sentries stand vigilant, night and day. None could approach without notice. The sentries claim they were struck senseless, but later awoke to find the door to the treasury hanging open, but of all the valuables secreted within, only the blade was missing. By all accounts, the entire incident took place over the span of a few short minutes. This burglar obviously had a plan and was very precise in its execution. And you say that only Runting was taken? The loss of such a prominent symbol right before the ceremony bodes ill for Sir Emeric's reputation. Lord Commander cannot afford to have his authority eroded at this delicate stage, lest Ishgard once more fall prey to infighting insurrection. We must reclaim the blade ere its disappearance becomes common knowledge. I have not the time nor the nights to spare for this. Well, my hounds might be able to help you there. They're the best the watch has to offer, and I reckon they can keep their gobs shut. Yes, sir, Machinist, our time to shine, so we have a vested interest in seeing it go forward as planned. And there's no harm in getting on Sir Emeric's good side neither. What say we look into it? Do as you wish. With Desiree's assistance, mayhap even your mob of commoners will see some modicum of success. Now, if you will excuse me. Prickly bastard. You'd think he'd show a bit more bloody gratitude. Anyway, enough of it. We have a sword to find. We can begin by asking some questions, I reckon. get our own idea of what happened. Ready to put on your Inquisitor robes? Good, then I have a perfect bloke for us to talk to. I know a knight who took part in that raid on the vault a while back, and he just so happens to be captain of a treasury guard. Let's head to the Hopland and see if our man's about. Temple Knight Patrol. Mr. Desiree and Mistress Hilda, Sir Muscadine told me to expect you. And I thought he had no time to spare. So does this mean you're to help or hinder us? Why, to help you, of course. Here, material evidence from the scene. All 7 locks on the treasury door were destroyed. This scrap of metal was found lodged in one of the keyholes. The impact crushed it all out of shape, but that looks like a bullet to me. Our culprit's reading some sort of firearm? A firearm, did you say? Has there been yet another crime committed with one of those horrible inventions? By the gods, I can scarcely sleep at night for worry. I suspect this is all the fault of Sir Emmerich's precious revolution. Who might you be, miss? And what did you mean by another crime? Why, the tales I've heard at high tea this past week could curl your toes. They say a musket-wielding brigand now terrorizes the Western Highlands. Just when the threat of those dragon-loving heretics has finally ended, a new nightmare rises to take their place. Unless you think with some noble lady's fancy, even the traders come to supply the crozier speak of shots echoing in the air near Hemlock. Dreadful. Simply dreadful. I understand that our knights must honor their oath to aid foreign nations, but must it come at the cost of keeping order in Ishgard? Look at me. I've become positively flushed. I must retire to my chambers. Was she out of hearing or something? But slavered harpy didn't so much as glance in my direction. An unfortunate habit of the more traditional highborn, I'm afraid. Such stubborn examples aside, however, your actions have taught many of our nobles the wisdom of heeding the common citizenry. Aye, I've not been ignored like that in a while. Well, thank you for the bullet, Sir Knight. Good day to you. As much as I'd like to ignore her ladyship's babbling, it might be worth looking into the rumor of his bandit up near Hemlock. Considering the timing and how the treasury was robbed, it's just too much of a coincidence. We have a couple of leads to follow, eh? Why don't you take that bullet to Stefanivia and see if he can tell us where it came from? Meanwhile, I head out to Hemlock and look for anyone that's armed with a carbine or something similar. Come join me once you're done with a bullet. Might be as I need your help with a search. Okay, to Stefanivian. Desiree, how fares the training of our indomitable watch, huh? You have something for me? Yes, this is certainly the one with a bullet fired from close range. But more than that, I cannot tell you. May have been made right here in the manufactory, but honestly, there's little difference between our ammunition and the bullets forged in Limsa Lominsa. I'm sorry, the deformation makes it impossible to identify an origin with any degree of accuracy. Huh, seems Hilda's in trouble. You recover a leather collar from a fallen guard beast? My thanks. Was paying too much attention to the ground when the beast came at me. I managed to put down one or two, but... what's that you got there? A leather collar. A leather collar, huh? Those curse must have been set to guard the place, though they seem wild enough to me. I found signs that someone was here this way. It could be that her ladyship's brigands is more than empty parlor talk. Let's get back to the broom before we compare notes, though, huh? It's bloody freezing out here. Some bandit with a firearm, huh? I bloody wonder. Right, so what we got? Did that bullet have a tale to tell? Not really. Ah, that's too bad. I thought maybe we could learn where it came from at least. See, that leaves us chasing after this mystery bandit. Maybe I'll head out to Hemlock again and have another poke around. I'll stick it out here and keep drilling the troops then. You'll be the first to know when we're ready for inspection. I'll make you proud, don't you worry about that. And don't stay away too long. We have a thief to catch. Alright, Hilda. I have something to share with you, Desiree. I pulled a scrap of parchment from a campfire found by Hemlock. And the bits, what went blackened and burned, bear an interesting read. Seems it was a contract of sort, promising the sale of a historically significant blade to a certain Lominsan merchant. I'll give you one good guess as to which bloody blade it's referring to. That Lominsan bloke never gives a name, but he is infamous for building a trade empire on the ashes of a calamity. There's rumors aplenty as to why the shifty bugger is so successful, and not a few of them point to a profit made from black market goods. Well, it turns out that this infamous merchant was stopped at a checkpoint on the border. The Temple Knights there were keeping an eye out for stolen. The Temple Knights there were keeping an eye out for the stolen sword and reported that the trader was last seen making for Boulder Downs. That seems to match up with what we read in that contract, huh? We need to find that merchant and wait until the thief shows up with a blade. What say you both? I can count on you to come along, right? No, just hold on there, miss. I took your instructor job, but that don't mean you can drag me to the fray to wipe your goddamn asses. No one's saying you have to do any fighting. Think of it as a chance to train us in the field, even if you might need to dodge a bullet or two. Why do I let myself get roped into these messes? Well, seeing as that merchant is giving me Homeland a bad name, I suppose I can help you with this one. I better see you out there too, Desiree. That's settled then. Get your kids and meet us near Boulder Downs. Alright. I won't lie to you. You're likely walking into a fight. Pick your targets and aim true. Nervous? I'm not bloody nervous. It's a... what's the damn word? Anticipation, aye. This is nothing like patrolling the room. It's too open. We found the merchant Desiree. He's out there doing a deal as we speak. But first we need to make sure his customers the thieving bastard we're looking for. Simmer, grab another hound and sniff out the situation. You'd best go too, Desiree, just in case one pups runs into something they can't handle. If Simmer fouls us up, be sure to give him a good smack across the snout for me. A fight! What, Hilda don't trust us or something? After all the drills Rostenstall put us through, I reckon we can manage a bit of spying. Are you certain of this? As I recall, the client requested that hunting be delivered directly upon its acquisition. Ah, that was the deal. We delivered the sword when our client, as you say, turned around and gave it right back. Chain of bleeding heart or someone, I don't know. Look, can you fence this thing or not? Yes? Yes, I'm sure we can come to an equitable arrangement. Aye, this is a bloke. Yes, ma'am, we got the sword. Understood. Hilda's getting ready to charge in. We wait here for the rest of the hounds. A sacred blade ranting. An impressive piece, heavy with history and tradition. It should fetch a fine price with the right buyer. Well, thank the bloody gods for that. Now, about our share. I got something to share with you right here, Brigand. Who in the bloody hells are you? Hilda Sounds, we uphold the law on Ishgard, and you are all suspects in the theft of a sacred blade ranting. Ishgardian soldiers? I'll not risk my life against you fanatics. Get back here, you coward! I don't know how you found us, but you'll not be leaving here alive. Come out and play, lads. We got some dogs that need a whipping.
That's far enough.
Steady now, hounds. Make your instructor proud.
Right there!
Had enough yet? Bloody hell. Right. Bring out my beauty. Here, I have a new playmate for you. Have fun. Where do you think you're going? Simmer, Houston, after him.
Is that all you've got?
Aye, boss.
One shot, one kill.
We're starting flag here. There's a way to stop him from getting any nasty shots.
Let's finish it.
My lads are still after the bandit chief himself, but it looks like we got this lot sorted. We'll march them back to Ishgard, squeeze them for information, and hand them over to Muscadine. We did it, Desiree. We got the sword back. The hounds are done well, huh? Very well. Thanks, Desiree. That means a lot coming from you. Well, of course we're bloody done well. They've got me to train them. So, Hilda, the leader's gone. Seems the boss has got a chocobo hidden nearby. He was in the saddle on the way before we could catch him. Bah! Well, there's not to be done about it. The blade's ours now in any case, so let's call this one a victory. Time to head home? Desiree, hang about for a bit, would you? There's something we need to discuss. Alright. What is it? When you was fighting them bandits, I got a glimpse of a leader's weapon. And I reckon I know where he got it from. But I need to do some snooping around before I'm certain. Old habits die hard, I guess. Anyway, do me a favor and tell Hilda that I'll be taking some time off until I've satisfied my curiosity. Alright. Welcome back, Desiree. Wait, where's Rostenstahl? I thought he was with you. He is taking a vacation. Taking time off to chase after a hunch. What else are that old pirate up to? Guess we'll just have to meddle along without him when he's looking into that firearm business. Besides, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a bit curious about it myself. What about you, Desiree? Come back to the broom when you can, and it might be as we'll have a tale to tell. Alright. But this questline is obviously not over, so we continue this next time. Until then, I am Mace, and don't get lost.